You did come see me today.
I'd like to bring this meeting to order. Penn Township Board of Supervisors, Wednesday, February 27th, 2013, 7 p.m. We will stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and a moment of silence. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Please be seated. I'd like to add that the minutes of the meeting are recorded for the aid and preparation of those minutes. At this time, before we get into recognition of visitors, I've had an ask for a change of agenda by Solicitor Wagner here. He has another urgent meeting here at 8 o'clock I'd like to get to, so at this time I recognize you.
Thank you very much. Couple of things to report. We got a letter from the Susquehanna School District. We've discussed that concerning how to handle the closing of the road, which basically we can't do. So Henry has indicated he's going to go back to the school and explain to them some of the options they have available to them. The other item I have on the agenda to report only is, and I think the board knows that the two conditional use hearings that we had and decisions were made, each of those two have been now subject to an appeal to the Court of Common Pleas. The next procedural event is the Township Secretary has been noticed by the Prothonotary to supply certified copies of the records of each of the two conditional use hearings, which she has done. And they will then be scheduled for argument before the court whenever it's the court has whenever the court schedules it, which probably won't be till sometime this summer, to be truthful with you. That's it.
Okay, thank you, Richard.
Thank you. Thank you very much for changing the agenda.
Ellen?
Okay. Wendy? Linda Giles? Bob? Giles? Okay. Bob Johnson?
No, ma'am, nothing to do about.
Henry the Third?
Sherman Anna Grange is having their annual community day. It's going to be held April the 20th, which is a Saturday. It's our 4th annual community day. The event runs from 10 to 2, and we have a yard sale begins at 8 a.m. We've had this for the last 3 years. It's becoming bigger and better, and it's for all the community organizations to come together and share with the public what they have to offer. If you wish to, and they have some fundraising opportunities there for some of the other organizations, and if I'm not mistaken, you guys have been well represented every year that we've had that. So if you guys can please give us a reply. Down at the bottom there is contact information.
Okay.
And we hope to see you there. Thank you.
Thank you.
Stanley?
Yeah, 2 questions. I guess with DUIs now, you can't use a breathalyzer.
What's that?
With DUIs, you're not using a breathalyzer.
We haven't used breathalyzer.
You do all
We take them
blood
down,
work.
down to
Who
the.
pays for the extra expense for that?
Pardon?
Who pays the extra expense for blood work?
The defendant pays the
Consumer?
expense. Yeah, the consumer.
And yeah, there you go, that works. And do you need permission to use a property for speed control?
To use a property for speed?
Yeah, like if you're sitting on private property when you're running your speed control.
We don't usually do sit on private property.
You don't sit on private property? It's always township or state?
We haven't, I don't know of any, I mean, I would doubt, I mean, if it's,
What about Dino's?
yeah, I mean, well, the guy that was Dean, I mean, he's never said anything, he's been down there a couple times. We've never run across anything like that. Now, like if we use the smaller roads like Creek Road or something like that, I don't like using somebody's driveway or something like that, just for the fact of retaliation, that they may think that, you know, that's part of, even though we've been offered, a lot of people have offered to, hey, you can sit in my driveway, you can do this, but I particularly don't care to do that, you know, just for that very reason, but.
That's all I have.
Okay, thanks, Tammy.
Lisa?
No, thank you.
Jeff?
I was just wondering if you got my letter?
Yes.
Yes, we did. Thank you.
Mhm.
Okay.
Nancy? Robin? Okay. Craig?
We're wrapping up our end of year report. The financials are always the challenging part. I have all the call numbers done, and as soon as I have the final report done, I will have it delivered to the supervisors. As always, thank you for your ongoing support, and should there be anything you need from us, let us know. Thank you.
Brett?
Have you gotten a price on membership for the EMS this year? The cut?
Yes, I don't have it on me,
Okay.
but I will make sure that it'll be part of our presentation.
Okay.
We'll do the printing of that at the beginning of, middle of March normally. They go out at the beginning
Thank
of
you.
April. Yes.
Brad?
Yeah, I have something quick. I'll try to make this quick. About 4 years ago, I bought some pictures. I took the pictures there. So they're not really that good. But it's this white oak tree. It's 1331 State Road. See, it's down here. About 4 years ago, it died. And I started asking around. When the state was down through there cutting trees, I asked them about it. They said they didn't have a boom truck big enough to get it. I caught him again about a year ago. Nothing ever got back to me. Caught him again in November. Finally, the guy from the head of District 8, I don't remember his name. I did talk to I left a message with a Doug Toaston here at Perry County. Anyhow, the guy from District 8 wasn't happy. I guess I'm a pain in their ass. They said it's out of the right of way. So he said, call the landowner. I called the homeowner, talked to him. He said he didn't have money. I offered to help him out a little bit, just take the firewood for a friend of mine, but yeah, I don't need firewood. It's gonna kill somebody. It's been dead for 4 years. It's got a couple more years maybe standing. That's the problem. I don't wanna cost the homeowner money, so I'm thinking maybe you guys could offer to do traffic control, or maybe you could call the state, PennDOT, and from you guys, instead of a pain in the ass guy like me, maybe from you guys, they bring get a boom truck in there and cut that tree down. I'm just afraid, I don't know whose wife or mother's gonna get killed by it, but I probably won't know the person that dies.
No, John.
Have you seen it, Henry?
I've seen the tree, yes.
It's a white oak. I mean, they hold for a long time, but in the clay soil that we got down there, when you see the little limbs fall off, the roots are rotted back far enough that it's gonna fall. I've seen them die like that before. Poplar would have already been down, but white oak will hold on.
Henry, along those same lines, there's a tree down at the end of 849 the same way. I've contacted Vern, I left a message with Helen also about it. The top died about 2 months ago, I told you.
I didn't want to open up a can of worms. I know it's not our road, but, you know, it's a nuisance, isn't it?
I guess, Brad, I'm probably more familiar with that than what you may think.
Oh,
Because
really?
I fight this battle all the time. They can be within the right-of-ways of a power line, and you talk to PP&L, you talk to people, well, it's standing. When it falls down, they'll fix it. They've been around and done a huge amount. What are you shaking your head yes about, Bob?
That's the story of your life. They're not
Yeah,
gonna touch
story of the life. I just went through this summer with Ash Plunk being around, trimming trees all over the
I
place.
saw they were here with trucks big enough to
Why,
get that.
why won't you take this one down here? And Tom and us will tell you, we've taken some dead ones down we shouldn't even been fooling with because they're gonna fall across the power line. I had two back there at our place that if they went down on my place, that were close to the wires, and I asked them, and PP&L, when the guy come through, and I granted him the okay to go in there and drive across the field to get to it, can you take this tree down? Well, no, we're not gonna cut that, we're only, but they trimmed the top limbs off of it, but down at the bottom where it's half rotted through, leaning across the power lines, when it goes down, that whole section that goes out. And you think they would cut that? They would not, and I begged them to cut it, talked to the tree trimmers in there to cut it, and they wouldn't cut it. Finally got my son in there with his track hoe to put the boom up as high as possible to throw it, and I took a big chance not falling on the wires. So I took it down here just recently, and Tom and us we get into that on the road crew out here with some of them. These utilities, those limbs can be laying on it, riding on the
Well, that's just,
telephone wires.
that's
And I'll
just
tell you,
telephone
they
cable.
will not respond.
Well, what can we do?
I don't know, did you contact the power company?
No, it's not power, it's telephone cable.
Well, I would say probably as close as that is, it depends how much right of way they have there.
But it's just telephone cable.
The telephone, yeah, that's the same thing we have back there. This back there was cable, the complete landline coming off the cell tower goes back out there. That tree went down, take it over. And it seemed that nobody cared.
But
And-
this one's gonna kill somebody on the highway,
Yeah.
possibly. I
and,
mean, there's a
and
good chance of it.
it's
Leaning towards the road.
if the landowner don't wanna take it down and assume the liability, I mean, ask me, I wish I knew what I could tell you, Brad, I don't. Because we fight that all the time. Trying to get people or the utilities, when the limb's down and on it, then you know, if they're on the telephone wires, we'll wait 3 days, 4 days, a week. They're on power lines, I won't touch them, but I have gone out and cut them and taken them off the utility lines. You know what I'm saying, on what you call, but I won't let it, I won't let
So
it.
this doesn't fall in under the nuisance ordinance or anything like that? You can't even you can't even give them a letter saying that people are aware of it?
I tell you what, I'd be glad to send a letter to PennDOT and I'm glad to send a letter to PP now in regard to that.
would
I
make
can
me
do
feel
that
better.
much for you. Bring it to your attention, so if there is something happens out here, at least, you know, they're gonna come back and say landowner, and I know they're gonna pass the buck. But it's difficult. I see them everywhere going up through there where they got trees so close to them, they hang out over them. Believe me, I got one right there that's behind, on the schoolhouse up from Elberger's that's leaning out over the top. I've asked telephone, cable to take that one down. I told Tom, as soon as the weather's warm, we're gonna crawl up in there, I'm gonna saw the limbs off myself and take them down myself. They're hanging out there, they're gonna lose that whole system there off of one tree. And you think they'll trim it or cut it? No.
Well, if it was just power, I wouldn't be here. If it was
Yeah.
just electricity.
So we're gonna take that one
Somebody I
down,
don't
but I'd be glad to send a letter in regards to it, Brad.
All right, thank you.
Okay? See if you get a response.
Could copy me in the letter?
Sure.
That's all I have.
Okay.
Byron?
I just want to echo Craig's, we gave you our annual call stat report. As soon as our financial records are complete, we will have them to you also. That's it.
Mr. Peters?
Just real quick here, last month I had brought to the supervisor's attention that since the hurricane, the fencing barrier has been down around the recycle center. I was assured last month that it was being addressed to this date as of 4:05, and I drove by this afternoon. The barriers are still down and everything is visible.
Okay, in regards to that, the day was the deadline for them to have that up from the last letter that we sent them. There's already a letter going out to them, telling them that they got 10 days to get the last 2 sections up, or referred to the solicitor for legal action taken against them.
Okay, thank you.
Okay? We followed it close and watch it right every day. Okay?
Jody?
Any update, I see Rich is in here, I passed him coming up the hill, any update on when our due date is, or if they have done any talks between municipal authority and Rich on what we're to connect at 1600?
I have not heard anything.
I haven't heard anything.
So I know we have the extension granted, but they haven't come back with any formal. So plan on next week going to the other board to see what the update. Gotcha. Okay, thank you.
Mr. Rhodes?
No, it's just
Okay. That's it?
Uh,
No, I'm sorry, Lee. Did I miss
First
you?
off, would you include the tree at the end of 849 when that letter that you write, I don't know if you've seen it yet or not, but the top is out of it, pretty big branch about ready to come out of it.
That's at 849 in Petersburg.
Well,
Lane?
it's actually sits on the other side from Petersburg, on the railroad side.
If you're gonna make up a list of trees, the one on Firehouse, and what we're up against with that one, with the tornado, it was there, and it was leaning over, and Franklin informed me, now wait till the power comes back on and we'll lift it back up.
Which side of the road is it on coming up Market Lee?
It's on the right-hand side of the road. If you're sitting at the stop sign at 849, look across, it'll be off to the left a little bit. The whole top is out of it, laying there, about ready to come down. I've contacted the borough. I left a message with Helen about it.
Yeah.
I guess there's some discrepancy as to whose property it is. Is it railroad, is it power line, whatever. Or if it's even borough, we don't know.
Well, I'll take a look at it, I can tell you exactly where the line is there. Borough line and the township line.
Well, I don't, so.
No, I do, okay, I can show you exactly where it's at.
Second thing, Henry, the last meeting I was at, we got a little heated with each other. And I think if we went back and listened to the tape, we can settle this pretty quick. You wanted to know how I knew about a software package. It was on the November 14th tape. I was wrong about the amount of the software package, but it was on the November 14th tape.
Okay, I just questioned it, Lee, and I thought it was presented wrong, and that's what I was trying to get at. Your presentation in regards to that was just a little bit in error, and that's all. And I'll leave it go at that, and I think we both should. But if you wish to carry it on, why, fine. But I listened to the tape also. And the intention or the way it sounded different than what your intentions were, and I realize that. That's why I questioned, where would that information come from in regards to that? Because we were talking numbers that was in a next year's budget, and that was a confusing issue.
Well, if you look at the budget,
Yeah.
the $4,500 is right next to the $2,250
Yeah,
that was
okay,
spent
so,
on.
okay, so I have
So
my
it's real
reason
easy
for.
when I pick it up
I
and look
have
at it,
my
I grabbed the
reasons
wrong
for
number.
asking it, and you have the answers. You made a mistake, and I had the right, I felt, to ask the question.
Well, being accused of
Yeah.
going through, I didn't like
Nobody
that at
accused
all.
anything, I just asked where you got that information, and I felt was in error.
It was on the 14th
Okay.
November tape.
Okay, anything else?
Anyone else in the audience? Guess not.
Okay. Concludes recognition of visitors, invoices, and expenditures.
Okay, you have the report in front of you. This does include the payment for the police vehicle. 5,400 of it out of capital reserve, and the rest out of general fund. Other than that, I don't think there's any other major.
Okay.
I'll make a motion, the orders be drawn, the bills be paid.
Okay. Motion made, second. All those in favor give their consent by saying aye. Ayes have it. You have before you the treasurer's report.
Okay,
Okay.
that's what it is. Nothing major. We got our EIT and LST monies in, higher than I expected. Our first payment for February real estate came in higher than expected. This is where we're at.
Any comments, or do I hear a motion made to approve the invoices, the treasurer's report, subject to audit?
I'll make a motion, the treasurer's report be approved, subject to audit.
Okay, I'll second. All those in favor give their consent by saying aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it. So ordered.
Okay, and we have one CD for the Park and Rec up for renewal. Christine gave you the percentages. Right now it's at the Bank of Landisburg. They're 0.15%, Marysville's 0.20. And they wish to have a 6-month renewal.
Check members first, Helen.
Pardon?
Did you check members first?
They won't take anything under 10,000.
Thank you.
Okay, what is the wish of the board?
I'll make a motion that the Park and Rec CD for 6 months be moved to Marysville for the higher interest, 2.0, or 0.20. 2.0 would be nice.
I'll second that motion. All those in favor give their consent by saying aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it, so ordered.
One other thing, there is the blank check in there for the mailing of the, thank you, newsletter. Just so you know, last year it was $370, so it's gonna be around the same amount. I'm gonna go turn down the heat. Okay. Had to turn down the heat.
Minutes for January the 30th,
Mhm.
2013. Rejection or approval?
I'll make a motion that we accept the minutes of January 30th.
Okay, I'll second. All those in favor give their consent by saying aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it, so ordered. Highway report. Top of my highway report, I had that Huffman letter marked down here. That's taken care of. Okay, in regards to the fence. Okay? Before giving a report, I've mentioned this several times before over the years, and I'm going to ask the board for approval tonight for something. I've taken a look at this. Camp Hill, Marysville, Cedar Cliff, a lot of the municipalities down here take advantage of a program with our inmates. They have these work programs. They will do painting, re-blacking. They will come up here, and it seems lately here in the township, we have a rash of beer cans, soda cans, and more McDonald bags than I've ever seen in my life, up and down the roads everywhere. Tires, brush, culverts that need cleaned out. And you can ask Tom, we spend an awful lot of time out there with those frivolous things trying to keep after them. And there's no reason why we shouldn't take advantage of this. Marysville does, Cedar Cliff does, Camp Hill has them sweep up their leaves and etc. It's free. They monitor the guys. All you have to do is make arrangements for them. There'll be someone come up, take a look at the area to work, you lay it out. They bring them in, they take them home at no expense to the township. An awful lot of places where there's tires, rubbish, and stuff down over our bank that we spend a tremendous amount of time taking up and bringing out. So I would like to ask the board, I gave all the pertinent information, the contacts to Chief Pickles here in regards to it. I would like to ask the board for permission to make contact with the individual that has control of that over at Camp Hill and let him come over and talk to us out here and show them what we got in mind along the roads. There is use for them for weed whapping, for painting out here in the pavilions, anything that you may want like that in that line, they will provide. And they will come out and do it. We go up and down, spend a lot of time. Yes, Nancy?
I didn't mean to interrupt. We're actually using them at the Humane Society from Dauphin County Prison. And FYI, you can restrict the offenses. For instance, if you don't want anyone
Yes.
in for theft, you can limit the ones that you'll accept.
Most of these
They've done
are,
an excellent job.
most of these over here are very short timers before they go to a halfway house or they're
Exactly.
at. Yeah.
Exactly.
And I see no reason why we shouldn't take advantage of that labor and try it, see how it goes. We've already talked about how far we come close to the school, so there's restrictions on that. And it sure would free the road crew and us up from doing a lot of other things. So many places out here you mow, you have your linears, you have your stop signs, you have your intersections. Grass grows around, you can't get to them with the road mower. We go out and actually weed whip every one of them before we mow. So that when you mow up to it, there isn't grass standing there, it looks like a shirt on a hog when you leave. And so we do that to try to make it look a little cosmetically at the bottom of wherever we have these intersections. And they will do that. They even provide the equipment. So I would like to ask the board, I'd like to make a motion that we authorize Chief Pickles to make the contact over there and bring the gentleman over and see if we can't try this for a summer and see how it works. I put that in the form of a motion.
I'll second the motion.
Motion made with a second. All those in favor give their consent by saying aye. Ayes have it. Pickles, you have all the information. Let's take a look at it. Yes?
And several fire stations I've been in where they've used them, they recommend that you provide a meal, and then they line up to be the next
We're
one.
not allowed to provide meals.
No meal.
No cooking, no nothing like that. They pack their lunches, that comes with them.
Okay, because they've always had like a side meal that then they just sign up if they want to come back to that.
They've had that problem out there with people doing that for them, and just creates problems, so that's one of the restrictions, they won't let you
No, it's a
do.
good thing.
Okay?
Where will the inmates be coming from? Camp Hill Prison?
Yes, Camp Hill. Mhm.
SCI.
Thanks.
Mhm. Okay. The rest of my report is snow and ice, freezing rain. We've had our share of it. We've tried to keep on top of it, try to keep the roads bare. I know in the past, I often hear with the 4 snow plows sitting out there, well, they do break down. We replaced the hydraulic auger motor on the Ford 8000. Had to change trucks in the middle of the stream, did not have a plow on the other, and had to come back, put it on. Created a little bit delay, but we got caught up. We're replacing the spinner motor on the 550 Ford. It's leaking hydraulic fluid around a seal on it. When you take a look what a seal kit is, what it costs to buy one, it's cheaper to place the thing, replace it with the new one. So if all goes well Friday, that'll be back in service. But we still have 2 other trucks sitting there ready to go. We corrected some hydraulic leaks on the Lee Boy shoulder paver and changed the oil in it. It's ready for summer now. And make sure that we're trying to get all the equipment, that anything we see small on it, so we don't have a breakdown. Replaced the chipper blades on our chipper out there. Rotated the anvil in there on the shear plate. And once again, it is cutting proper instead of the way it was before. So some of these things do take maintenance in the cold weather. That's when we try to get them done. Road bid and material for bidding will be prepared for the March meeting. Okay? I have a pressure switch out there in the water system in the shed out there that's getting faulty. And boys brought that to my attention when they're pressure washing the truck out there. I have a new one still on some of my old plumbing stuff sitting down there. I'm going to replace it, fix it for them out there. I would like to offer some remarks on our heating oil cuts and our electric costs out there in the shed. We've cut them over half. Our electric bills less than half of what they used to be. And takes a while, but guys learn to turn lights off. We don't plug the heater, block heaters in on the trucks overnight and for weeks at a time like was being done before, and run them full bore when you don't need them. And so we've cut extreme amount of costs out there. And the pays off. We were taking a look at what we're bidding for fuel and on our budget, and I'm glad to see that part of it's working out there. Don't get me wrong, when we need to work in there, they have heat. They're not working in the cold. But we do back the thermostat back down to 48 every night. And we go out plowing snow. It don't run while we're out. It gets turned back, and it's saved us an awful lot of money. You've got, I got one other thing here, you know, that it's about time, and I need to bring it up here to the board and for all to know, it's time I step down. And I got some reasons for it. This is step down in some of the duties I'm doing, not stepping down as a supervisor per se. But I will still do the road bids, renew the plans, answer snow, drainage and road complaints, mow the roads, etc. But I've got some reasons that you may as well know up front. I've never been too kind of mine in my working over the years, and I got 2 shoulders that need surgery attention bad. Slowly losing, diminishing the muscles in my arm and the use of my hands. Can't close them anymore, and I don't know how much longer I can put it off. The other thing is, come May, I'll be married 25 years, and I'd like to spend some time away, a couple, 2-3 weeks away with the wife. And so I put a lot of time and effort in here. The road work will be laid out for the guys. They will continue to operate underneath what's laid out there for them to do. But some of these things, Cece and Brian, I discussed it with them. They're gonna have to pick up in some of these other meetings, which they agreed to do. But I'm gonna be out of commission for a little bit. And I thought that I'd maybe make it through this world without any more surgeries, but it doesn't look like it. I'm not too happy about it. So that's where I'm at on that. I can't put it off much longer, and I need to do that. I don't have anything else on it other than we are looking for warm weather. We have chipped every day, whether it's cold or not. We will eventually have everything on Linton Hill in the dirt section from one end to the other finally rolled back, the brush and stuff. Tom and them's been out there in some of the coldest weather, chipping, trying to get this done before we get into the warm weather. And so we've been cutting those roads back, and we're trying to get as many of them before the summer comes. Because we've got a big summer planned, by golly, for a lot of road maintenance. And that's all I have to offer underneath the highway report. Penn Township Planning Commission.
Okay, the first thing we have is the Perry County Hazard Mitigation Survey. This is to show you what the Planning Commission came up with on changes. And I will be sending this up to Jason at the county tomorrow.
Okay.
The second thing is the comprehensive plan. We had a contract back in 2010 for a certain amount, and we are now in the 10% overage on that. We still have a public hearing to do and at least one plan update. I don't know of anything else, Max, is there, that you guys would do?
Not according to what was agreed to.
Yeah,
Unless there's something else they're looking for.
not yet. But because of where we are, I needed to bring this to your attention and get permission for the 10%.
We have a little bit to do with the new census that goes back in the county, am I correct?
Yeah, they're finishing that up now.
They're finishing that up now.
Yeah.
It should be the end.
After that, we'll give you guys a copy, and like we feel did to us, we'll send them a copy and the borough.
Okay,
And then you guys get to set the public hearing.
okay. And so you're asking to get money to pay this overage?
Only if you want to pay Max.
Okay, well, I'll take a look at that.
It's actually free.
The
Okay.
10% on that, Helen, for where you're at the present time, still leaves $990 within that 10%.
Yes.
Okay. So I'll make a motion in regards to that. I looked at this paperwork here today. I will make a motion that the 10% overage on that does not exceed the 10% until those furthermore, any further bills beyond that are forwarded to this board of supervisors for additional approval. And I would make a motion, and that the motion includes that the 10% overage, which is normally allowed in the contract, be approved for payment. And that would be $1,448. That would be the total
Yes.
on the 10%.
No, the 10% includes $15,933.50.
No.
Oh, I'm sorry, the difference.
Overage,
Oh, I'm sorry.
the overage,
Yes, I'm sorry.
okay?
Yeah.
10% on the original contract would be that
The $1448.50.
$1,448.
Yes.
That's correct.
Yeah.
No more.
No more.
Okay.
And I'll second that.
Okay. Motion made with a second. All those in favor give their consent by saying aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it, so ordered.
Okay, that's all I have from the planning commission.
Zoning report, not much there.
That's it.
Okay. Storage enforcement officer report. They have it for you.
Yeah, they don't do too much this time of
Nothing.
year.
Okay. And you have Penn Township Park and Rec Board report before us.
Yeah, just a couple things. Jim Renner and I did attend a Bureau of Recreation and Conservation Policy Grant Guidelines seminar, which I got a lot of information and learned a lot from it, for future projects up here at the township. as far as getting any grants. And the second thing is our annual chicken barbecue is March 23rd, starting at 11:30 to 2. Tickets did you get those from Mike yet, Tony?
No.
Tickets, okay. I will be getting the tickets, at $7 per dinner, $4.50 for a half. And we will be having the rabies clinic here from 1 to 2 o'clock. And the fire department will be coming up. They choose anybody to come up yet, as far as the barbecue, to use the new equipment?
You need to bid.
Yeah. Yeah, it's gonna come up, but I didn't know who was coming up with it.
Guy sitting right beside you to make
Oh,
those
you're
arrangements.
Okay.
You are now.
That's it. You are now. That's it, thank you.
Depends. Depends.
Oh, and I had, a gentleman come up from a fencing company today to where the backstop is, to extend the height of the ball field fence there, to keep the balls from coming down and hitting the cars and the homes and the road and the kids and the dogs. And he's going to give me a call and come back with a quote. So we're just out looking for bids right now to extend the height of it, because cars park all along there during the ball season, and a lot of cars have gotten damaged from the balls hitting it.
Okay.
That's it, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Karen, for that report. Penn Township Municipal Authority?
You have my report in front of you, for one, and also we're requesting a no parking ordinance at Petersburg Commons in the area of the water pit. When we had that leak up there, work was scheduled to fix that. The crew went to fix it and couldn't access it because of the cars parked there. So we would like to have signage up just in that area, there on the right-hand side as you go in, to prevent any problems in the future with cars parking there.
I too would like to recommend that we consider that no parking ordinance, Helen, let you get some samples of what we had elsewhere, you know, take a look for another month. When you go to plow the snow in there, there's always one pickup that sits right there at the same spot in the corner, always. You can't move the snow out, you can't plow around it without leaving a big detent in it there, you know, that you can't get to, and the whole 9 yards. One vehicle is all we're looking at. and when they went to do it, well, they had to cancel their work and et cetera. So I'd like to present next month.
Okay.
Take a look at that, see if we can consider it for advertisement to see what we'd even do.
Okay, I just need a link that the authority would like.
Yes, so
How-
we'll have to
from
take
what-
a look at
A,
it. And
start to
I would
end it.
ask
Okay.
the
Yeah.
officer there to take a look at that also, the police department, to make sure that we're not doing something detrimental there in that corner.
Yeah,
I'll get that for you next week, Helen.
okay. You got a motion but no second?
Okay. She made it.
Oh, okay.
You wanna make the motion, Cece?
No.
I'll
Well, you
make
made
the
you made the
I
motion.
made the motion. Do I hear a second?
I'll second the motion.
Okay, motion with a second. All those in favor give their consent by saying aye. Ayes have it, so.
I will abstain from that since
Okay.
I presented it.
Okay, you presented it, okay. Would like to let it be known that we did get, some controversy about it, Zach, but we did get the, module back in real good time from Morrison's down there, from DEP. It is back to us, so we are waiting on them,
Yeah.
okay? Secretary's report.
Okay, first thing I have, well, first two things I have are resolutions for Mifflintown Bank and Marysville Bank for the CDs that were changed over. Those need to be accepted. Then I have MRM for election of trustees, and the Workers' Comp Trust are asking us to either send someone or send our proxy in for voting.
Okay?
We've gone proxy in the past, haven't we?
Yes.
Yes.
Unless you really want me to go up to there. Let's see, Champion, PA.
In the snowflake room. Sounds like a bad omen.
Yeah.
So I need the CD resolutions first.
Okay.
I'll make a motion that we adopt the resolution for the Mifflintown Bank CD, First National Bank of Mifflintown.
I hear a second.
Second the motion?
Second the motion, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Consent was saying aye, ayes have it, so ordered. Resolution for Marysville Bank CD.
I move the adoption of resolution for the Marysville Bank.
I'll second that.
Sorry.
Okay, motion made with a second, all those in favor, give their consent by saying aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it, so ordered. Okay.
And
I'll
then
make a motion-
proxy for the other two?
Yeah, yes, and I'll make a motion that we delegate those votes by proxy, okay, Helen?
I will second that.
Motion made with a second, all those in favor, give their consent by saying aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it, so ordered. Okay, is that all you have?
That's all I have.
Okay. Engineers report?
You should have a copy of my report. I think we probably covered everything that, any of the items that have been on here, but it's been a slow month also.
Okay, Max?
If there's questions?
Okay. We thank you for a report, not much going on. This time, Max, we don't have nothing else, you're dismissed.
Thank you.
Okay, police report? Have it before us?
There, yeah. On the second page of fines and costs received year to date. We're looking to get delivery on the second vehicle still, or the third vehicle, it's at upfitters right now, still being worked on. We had some, I guess some problems ordering some modules for the light package.
I'd like to offer a comment. I received a phone call this morning at 7 o'clock, passing information on to me to thank Officer Pickles from 3 different people, some of them in their 80s, for their concern and stopping at their place randomly to see that they're okay, see whether they live by themselves. And one who was very, very ill and sick for a long time, he was one of the first people who said, stopped in to see him when he come back. I think that says a lot for people that care about people, and it's the first time I've ever got a phone call by golly thanking us in regard to that line. So Pickles, I would say, you were the officer that done that in all 3 cases. I commend you for that, and I thank you for your service by golly to people.
Thank you.
Solicitor report, there wasn't nothing. Rich, permit report before you?
You have it before you, there's nothing major on it. This is where you see the subways, you see.
Okay, correspondence from Wheatfield Township and their comp plan
Yeah.
for us to review and take a look at.
Planning Commission is already reviewing it. They should have a recommendation or of anything they come up with next month for you.
Okay, we have,
And there's the 2013 Municipal Partners Workshop up in Richfield if you wish to attend.
mhm,
Don't know, it's the first time it's come out.
I might be interested in attending this.
be interested, Brown?
I'll get together with you.
Okay. Big cost there, but.
I'll pay it.
Okay,
Okay,
we
that's-
can take that on a motion, Helen. I make a motion by golly that we give Brian the opportunity to attend that, and the cost of $5, the attendee is taken care of by the township as always, okay?
I'll second that.
Okay, motion made with second. All those in favor give their consent by saying aye.
Aye.
Municipal Partners Workshop,
Yeah, that's what we were just talking about.
okay?
That's all the correspondence I
Is
have.
that it?
That's all the correspondence.
And old business, we have the Haldeman's letter under old business. Okay, and we've got new business with nothing under it.
Quick question, time for your roadmaster survey on the 23rd. 8 o'clock? Okay,
I'm assuming that's what it usually is.
yeah, just confirming.
Excuse me, Mr. Holman.
Yes.
Under new business, I'd like to bring something up. and recent article in the local paper referencing to a fire in Wheatfield. Duncannon, in the article, is quoted as saying they're looking at wanting to expand their territory or expand their coverage, possibly changing boxes, whatever have you. And I know you can't answer for the fire department because that's their business. But my question is with pending road construction, blocking off of our township, particularly when the face of the mountain gets cut down and shut down for however many days or months, is Duncannon going to be able to provide adequate fire service for the whole township, particularly if 11 and 15 is closed? Is there a plan? I think it's unfeasible right now for Duncannon to expand their territory because they are our primary coverage. So in lieu of the bridge, in lieu of the blasting of the mountain, cutting off the township virtually and somewhat in half, 11 and 15 corridor through the Cove and Perdix would not be covered. Has there been, okay, so is it really good at this time, knowing that these things are coming up, for them to expand their coverage? And two, if they do decide to expand their coverage, is there plans or thoughts to move an annex or a permanent station in the Cove or Perdix?
Well, first off, I don't know where this blowing the mountain away comes from and where the road gets shut down at. I don't know of any plan on that from PennDOT. We've been watching this, we're on top of it, it's years away that's going to take place down here. And so we have nothing, and we have been told that there's no way that they're going to shut 11 and 15 down, that the services will be able to get through there. And until we get a plan from the state, nobody's at liberty to say what's going to take place down here because we don't know, Mr. Peters. And so we have made contact with those people and have talked with these people from the top one down, and they realize that there's not going to be a complete shutdown of 11 and 15, that there will be traffic conveyed through there one way or the other. So it is so premature to be talking about blowing the mountain away and telling everybody we're shutting 11 and 15 down. I've answered so many questions and so many rumors about 11 and 15 getting shut down here. Yes, we are going to have a shutdown on the bridge going into Duncannon for 3 months. And there is alternate routes being made and taken care of for the emergency services, police, and everything else with that. And that is yet to be put to bed, to be settled. But nobody's sitting on their laurels not doing nothing about this to make sure that we don't have coverage for everybody.
Well, see, and that's why I'm coming to you.
Okay, so that's our answer.
Not to spread rumor. I was just curious, is there any thinking, I mean, granted, it may be 2 years down the road, but do we wait 6 months before it happens for that? So are we being proactive and thinking?
I think absolutely we are. We've been on top of it and staying on top of it all the way. I can't dictate to them, and they haven't given anything back to us at all, have they, Pickles, in regards to it?
None whatsoever.
No, but we've been in contact with them, and we're sitting there waiting for that information. And they've been very friendly about us, telling us what's going to take place. You're not going to get the bridge in Duncannon until next year, and you're not going to get that till probably 2 years later. And so if that's not looking ahead or taking a look at what we're at ahead of time, we jumped on that thing with both feet and it got set back a year because we saw an awful lot of problems down here. And when we took it to PennDOT, they agreed and they met with us. Or that project would be done this year and they just shut it down. But the borough's getting a lot more out of it, and Penn Township's getting a lot more out of that bridge down there because we were proactive, not reactive to when we got into it, there was nothing done.
Thank you.
Okay?
Henry, if I may address the Wheatfield Township concern about expanding our coverage, we're looking at expanding our coverage maybe about a quarter mile of road. There's a very small area of Wheatfield Township that is covered by Shermansdale for some reason as part of Shermansdale's call box area. And to eliminate confusion, I requested that Wheatfield Township look into if there is homes in Wheatfield Township, because the county claimed that the parcels were Wheatfield Township. Jim Fuller said he thought otherwise, and I presented to them that they investigate that and requested that they take it into advisement to eliminate confusion that they would take that very, very minute area that's Shermansdale's fire district in Wheatfield Township and just include it in the 203 call box, which is our Duncan Fire Company call box in that area of Wheatfield Township. Which, if anybody's familiar, it's the area at the S-turn on Pine Hill Road to the top of Pine Hill where Carroll Township line is, which is not even a quarter mile long, it's about an eighth of a mile long. So there is gonna be no drastic increase in, calls or anything. That
And when you got a
is just-
dead spot for call, nobody knows who
It's
to
just
go
to
to,
eliminate
is what it's
confusion.
all about.
And the concern was that there was a fire there last year, and there was one fire truck from between Duncannon and New Bloomfield that was on the scene, and they are the two fire companies that are contracted with Wheatfield Township, and the call was in Wheatfield Township, and there was one fire truck from the representing fire companies of the township there. That caused a concern with citizens and whoever, and this is just brought up to eliminate that confusion with Wheatfield Township and the county. And the same thing was done in Watts Township last year to eliminate Newport Fire Company responding into a very small area of Watts Township. It is not gonna be any increase in demands for service. None whatsoever, because, like I said, our tanker did respond out there with Shermansdale. So, it's just to eliminate confusion.
Okay, so no big expansive territory,
No.
just that little section.
Might be from here down
Yes,
to the
Dan.
end of the road.
You hear anything on the red light up here?
Yes, we have.
Yes, we have.
Yes, we did.
They are going to start construction on the 25th of March. They will not close the road, but they will narrow the lanes going in and out. And that's where we are right now.
You know how many days the project is?
Pardon?
300 and,
Still didn't hear
How
Stan.
many days the project will be?
October
They
18th is
said-
what we were given, is that they have to be done by.
Okay, October 18th.
October 18th is what they told us they had to be done.
like,
Well,
close to
that would be-
300 days, yeah.
That'll be,
Okay.
because
Is
they
there
have to
any
widen.
any wide load restriction on the lanes or anything?
Not that we were advised.
Okay, not wide load, but 102 or
Right.
whatever.
Yeah.
Something said about moving your whole store back a little bit, something Stanley, 300 some days, it could be the time frame there that they want to put that red light in. Okay.
Yeah, another question, I guess. I don't know. I sit here at all these meetings and we go over all these different reports and the engineer, we pay him to come up and he always sits there and goes, nope, nothing to say, and he leaves. And, it seems odd, but Penn Township Municipal Authority, CC sits on that authority. She sits here on the board, and you really never hear anything. It's, yep, let's accept it and let's move on. Yet, when we go to the road report, we hear 5, 10, 15 minutes. Thought maybe it'd be nice to hear what's going on with the municipal authority also, at least the highlights. Take another 5, 10 minutes, you know, what's going on. I know there was issues going on in the township, it'd be nice to have them brought out here to the public. I mean, I know that's a whole separate meeting, I understand that, but on the other hand, this is the main meeting for the township for the month.
I used to read the report, and then it was suggested that since you have it in print, just leave it in print because it was too lengthy, people didn't care, but I'll be glad to read it.
In print,
She's,
for the public, I mean,
Mhm.
Once
is it
it's
out- is it outside here when we come in? or-
no, it's
No,
not,
Well, then
it's not
it's not in print then.
Well, it
It's
would
in-
be after tonight, it's not accepted until tonight.
and that's when it becomes a public record.
Right.
Okay.
But I'll be more than happy to share it. The Penn Township Municipal Authority held its stated meeting on February 6, 2013. Some of the highlights of the meeting are as follows. Todd Wilson, representing Stone Mill Estates, presented a revised drawing showing the placement of sewer lines. The PTMA offered questions and discussion on the plan and referred Mr. Wilson to the Planning Commission. Second item, Mr. Ward was present to discuss the DeKoven sewer treatment plant and the entire Ward property in regard to connecting to the PTMA sewer lines. Rather than taking up time at the regularly stated meeting, it was decided to schedule a meeting for Tuesday, February 12, 2013 at 6 p.m. More to follow on that later. Water delinquencies for the month of January totaled $11,036.41. That was up by $3,549.85 from the previous month. And the sewer delinquencies for the month of January totaled $68,288.57, up by $2,456.76 from the previous month. The February 12th, 2013 meeting with Mr. Ward, an advertised meeting was held between PTMA and Mike Ward in order to discuss the compliance of the Tacoma wastewater treatment plant. After 2 hours of questions and discussion, no decisions were made on either side. It was, however, a very productive and informative meeting for both sides. Mr. Ward needs to discuss matters with his partners and decide which direction is best for them to take. He felt he should have an idea by February 25th. This will be revisited at the March PTMA meeting. Next week.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
For a minute, Stanley, I thought you were gonna say my report was too lengthy. Thank you for the compliment. Listen, there's one thing that, I will go back into it here, I looked at it here, I did forget one thing. I have one thing wrote down here that is important to me. Before I mentioned there that I need to step down from some of the activities, and it's because of those couple items. I do have here, that's been a goal of mine here, to get the employees to take a bigger part in the role in the road activities. And I will say that Tom and Steve and the part-timers we have out here, the work is laid out for them. I tell you what, they get it done. I don't need to worry about it not being done. And they give us good full to the end of the day hours, and they start on time. So I have that there. They need to know that. That needs to be, that credit needs to go to them out there. If I didn't think there would be something that they couldn't handle out there in an absence while I'm laid up or whatnot, well, I would say we hire somebody else or put somebody there. But I don't think that that's a need. I got complete confidence in them that they will do what they're asked to do and take the road project for the summer and see that they get done. That's all I have. I did miss that part. The employees need that. They need to know that that was in my report. That being said,
Henry, I have one thing.
Yes.
Several years back, when we established our capital reserve fund at the fire company with the additional monies that were donated from Penn and Wheatfield Townships, this came up at our board meeting the other night. We have a stipulation with the township, and I couldn't remember verbatim what it was, and my thought was that it was to be spent for fire apparatus only, that maintenance or any other thing would have to come with township approval. Was that, do you remember, is that correct, the agreement?
Yeah, that was supposed to be put aside for the purchase of new equipment.
For new vehicles?
Yes, new vehicles,
Yes.
new purchase, okay.
Just wanted to.
And I think we signed papers to guarantee that 25 from us for the purchase of the new rescue.
We just wanted to, I just wanted to make sure that that was the stipulation,
That
so
was
we
the
wouldn't,
yes.
wouldn't overstep our
Yeah.
bounds doing that
Okay.
without your approval, so.
Okay.
Yep, thank you.
That's the
Okay,
question I
well,
had.
thanks for bringing that up. Okay?
Craig.
Yes, Craig.
Mr. Peters, I should have had this answered, that I don't know the specific numbers, but on the subscription rates for 2013, 2014, there will be no change for residents of Penn and Wheatfield Township. There will be no increase. The increase, we're doing an increase, but it'll be a discount back to the existing rates for residents of Penn
And
and
how will this
Wheatfield.
information be disseminated among the township?
In-
Is it,
It'll be in the subscription pamphlets that come out to the residents that we cover.
oh, okay, all right.
And they, like I said, they'll come out probably the first week of April or last week of March, sometime in that frame. But there won't be any increase in what you paid last year. I think the year before, I don't think we did any increase the year before for Penn and Wheatfield. The borough of Duncannon, New Buffalo Borough, and Watts Township will see, and Reed Township will see an increase.
Thank you.
So, if I could, so this is basically, since we did a donation.
Correct.
And Wheatfield did a donation, we're being treated better. Thank you.
This is all because of you.
Thank you. Thank you.
No further business. I make a motion
Oh,
we adjourn.
nope, I have one thing.
Oh,
Sorry,
how about it?
sorry. Gotta mention, we went to county convention on Saturday. Helen, Brian, myself. And it was a little different format than usual. They did not have their seminars and workshops that they usually have, only because this was the 100th year for the Perry County Convention. And they had more guest speakers. more history to the whole meeting. And it was very informative, very, very well attended, I thought. Still ran, well, it actually ran about an hour longer than normal, but it was very well attended and very nice. Got quite a few citations, one from the House, one from the Senate, just all different organizations that recognized the Perry County Association, and that it was very nice, and it was an honor and a privilege to be there, to be part of that. So I wanted to report that. I'm done.
Okay. I will, once again, make a motion that we adjourn.
Second that.
Motion second, all those in favor, give their consent by saying aye. Ayes have it, so ordered.